I'm super excited about our topic today and about our speaker. If you have not been to Colorado Career Connectors before, we welcome you. We would love to see you on video. We do know it's lunchtime, and so you just do you. We don't care if you're in pajamas. We don't care. Like, we're pretty laid back, and it is summertime, so you just be you. Hi, Michael. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Gina, Amanda, John. It's awesome to have all of you here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll just wait a minute until a few more people join. Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah. There we go.
Perfect. Perfect. Michael, is this your first Colorado Career Connectors call?
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hi, April. Hi, Hal.
Hi there.
Okay, wonderful. We will be recording this. We do send these recordings out to all of the people who RSVP'd and also participated. We also have a YouTube channel that has all of the past recordings for our community. We started CCC back in March of 2021 and have grown organically to over 1,000 people throughout the past year and 2 months. And so we welcome you. We welcome everyone from across the world. We have had people from Europe and Africa and Latin America. And where are you all calling in from?
I'm from Southeast Denver.
Awesome.
I'm from Arvada.
Nice. Well, I live in Highlands Ranch, and I do run both of my companies out of my basement. And that's the great thing about my own great resignation in 2019. I was so done with corporate and just the stress and overwhelm and burnout and betrayal, and decided to put a stake in the ground and start my own business. And I have not looked back. So very excited today to have Anna Brambilla, who is one of our premier sponsors for Colorado Career Connectors. And she's going to be talking about battered corporate syndrome. And if any of you have had that, you're going to be able to relate to some of what we're talking about today. So I am an executive career coach. My name is Shelly. I know it's spelled really weird, but it is pronounced Shelly. And before 2019, before I started my own businesses, I was the head of talent acquisition at Comcast. I also led talent as a senior manager for Lockheed Martin, Quest Diagnostics, and Honeywell. So I have years of HR and senior leadership leading diversity, equity, and inclusion, talent acquisition, talent planning. And so all of that experience is now being brought to you. I help women, people that are underrepresented and marginalized, to get promoted faster or land higher paying jobs while maximizing their positive intelligence or their mental fitness, and maximizing clarity, confidence, and courage. Because a lot of people, especially through COVID, completely felt disconnected and disengaged and kind of lost themselves. And so I help people get back to that. I'm a premier career coach for Anita B, which is the largest group of computer scientists in the world. And I work a lot with STEM, but I've done healthcare engineering, technology, etc. And would love to talk with each of you personally. My director of operations is Yvette Bell, and she is behind all of the graphics, all the social media, all the marketing. And so she is my right hand. If you're looking for a new logo or a brand consultant, please keep Yvette in mind. Colorado Career Connectors does over 24 events per year. And today we have a special treat for you. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'm very passionate about diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And part of what I do is make sure to support all underrepresented groups. And this is Pride Month. And I'm super excited about bringing a conversation around allyship and what it is to be your true, authentic self. We're having a special event next Monday from noon to 1:15. And I have members of the LGBTQIA community who are going to share their stories in a very safe environment. And even if that does not align with you, you absolutely will learn something from their stories about authenticity in a psychologically, emotional, and spiritually safe place. So I would love for all of you to come to that. I hope you're an ally, but if you're not, we're going to show you and have some techniques on how you can be a more of an ally to this group. So please sign up. If you can, Yvette, put in the chat the link to sign up. We've got some amazing speakers coming for that event. If you have not already subscribed to our website, Colorado Career Connectors, it's cocareerconnectors.com. You can get the latest information on what events are coming up. Find recaps of our past events, everything from behind the recruitment curtain to light up your LinkedIn, to resume help, to the best speakers and highest quality that Colorado has to offer. So part of I'm going to actually take the group out there and show you, stop this share for a minute, and show you some of the new areas for Colorado Career Connectors. It's good to see everybody. Hi, Christine. Hi, Tina. Hi, Vindo and Jordan and Noreen. Awesome to have all of you here. Let me go to this screen. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Under Colorado Career Connectors, if you are looking for resume writers, Nikki Massman and Lisa Carmen are two Colorado-based resume writers. You can also look at podcasts for the Career Clarity Show or John Neural or Celebrating Brave. These are all people in my community that align with podcasts. These are job sites that you can go look for Colorado-based jobs and positions. Built in Colorado is for like the startup and technology community. HR Colorado is for human resources, and I work with a lot of HR folks. And then Andrew Hudson's job list is one of the most well-known for nonprofit government across the board, what you're looking for. And then we have community partners, the Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce, the Pledgettes, Recruiting Innovation, and Second Act Women. So we're always updating this. Make sure that you're going out there and looking at our community resources. This is a page about our sponsors, and you will see one of our sponsors is Anna Brambilla. So we have some videos out there on the work that Anna does and that we do together. She's going to be presenting in just a moment. We have Shelly Shell, who is a partner at Prism Financial Strategies, and she's a financial strategist for people who are in transition and need assistance with financial assessment of how to go through that transition. And then we have all of these companies that have actually sponsored us in the past, and we just started sponsorships in January. So that's a little bit about our growth. And don't let this fool you. We've had Zendesk, DocuSign, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Ibotta, Caribou, Boulevard, lots and lots of different companies represented here. So I just wanted to make sure that you were all aware of our community resources out there. Here's where you find events, and we just don't support events within our community. We have BoulderNet for networking. We have Positions in Transition. So go out there and make sure that you know what's going on in the Colorado area. Awesome. Okay. Without further ado, Anna, like I said, Anna is one of our premier sponsors. She and I have really built our friendship and our sponsorship relationship, and she's going to be speaking to you today about battered corporate syndrome. So Anna, without further ado, I'll let you take it from here.
Great, thank you so much. Can everyone hear me first of all?
Yes.
Good, good. So full disclosure, I am just getting over COVID. I'm one of the lucky people in the world that got it. And so if you've seen me talk, much more energetic than I am right now. I'm working out of my house, but I'm thrilled to be here. So anyway, just wanted to let you know. Let's see, Yvette, could you make me co-host so I can share the screen, please? Because I've got a presentation that I'd like to present for you guys. So I'm very excited for you here.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Terrific. Okay, can everyone see that? See my screen? Terrific. So we're going to talk about battered career and investor syndrome. And really, this is something that's very near and dear to my heart because I experienced it. I still experience it. I know it all too well, unfortunately. And I haven't had a regular full-time boss in 15 years, and I haven't done consulting in 5 years, and still it's, I call it PTSD because I think it's PTSD for so many people. Before we begin, in the chat, if you would, I would love to hear, what are some reasons you decided to attend this presentation? What are some things that say, you know what, I want to learn about battered career syndrome. I'm feeling it, or I heard about it, or I want to know more about it. Can anyone put in some chat just a reason why you felt like joining this today? In a few minutes. We'll look for that as things go along. Feel battered, looking for something, some strategies to combat it. Great. Yeah, feel burnt out and need to do something more fulfilling. Self-confidence is low. Gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Betrayal and disconnection from the corporate experience. Yeah, I hear all of that. Everyone, it's real and it's not new, but it's gotten worse. Got burnt out in corporate America. Things were just, gosh, you guys, this is great. Things were going nowhere for you, feeling it, left a company, feel battered since 2008 when things fell apart. Yeah, I agree. 25 years, want something more impactful for people. Well, I'm so glad all of you are here because this is exactly what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about battered career syndrome and what are some things you can do about it. And battered career syndrome, as you can see, is really companies realize, people have realized since 2001, earlier, but especially lately, that companies don't care about us as employees anymore. I'm sorry to say it, they don't. Gone are the days that our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents had, where you would give your life to your corporate owner, to put not to put too fine of a point on it, and they would take care of you. But you were beholden to them, and you had to do what they said, when they said, and go where they said. And but you were guaranteed more or less corporate job. That's not; those days are gone. Any job can go away for at any time. Part of my background, I've been in the field of career transition now for more than 20 something years, 22, 23 years, something like that. And one of the things that I'm seeing, that I've seen in my career, I did recruiting, I did outplacement work, which is when people who have been laid off get told, well, you've just been laid off, but your company has recruited, in this case, has partnered with Right Management Consultants to offer you some job search strategies. And part of my role was to go into companies after the employee had just been laid off and was to go in and to say, well, I'm sorry, your job has just been eliminated, but your company is going to teach you how to write a resume and do networking and job search strategies, things like that. Every single time I did that, and I did that for dozens of companies, somebody would come into my room and say, I've just been laid off. I was here till midnight for this company. Or I put 20 years of my life into this company, and this is how they repaid me. So job loyalty doesn't exist on either side. And it's time for us, I think, to realize that. I think a battered career syndrome it's obviously not a defined disease, but I think we should treat it like that and mourn the loss of that job and mourn what happened and realize that we have tools available to us. Interesting statistic that I have is that the first wave of millennials are just turning 40, and they are going to be the first generation in modern economic history to end up worse than their parents. So that's really kind of scary. We've always grown up with the idea that we would be better than our parents, and it's not happening. What Amanda said, the definition of burnout is giving more of your emotional energy than you get back in return. And that's so true. And it's so true in companies nowadays. So corporations are getting even more powerful. It's kind of scary that there's the people nowadays are making less than half than if they had they're making less than they would have or used to. It used to be that in 1985, the median male worker needed 30 weeks of income to pay for housing, healthcare, transportation, and education for the family. So that means about what 2/3 of the year, not even that, they're already paid for everything that they need for their family for the year. In 2018, that's increased to 53 weeks. So you have to work more than a year to pay for the housing and all that stuff. So the fact of the matter is that wages and wage jobs are not keeping up. They're not, and that's sad. The statistic I read is that the people are making less when you adjust it for inflation. They're making less now than they had 20, 30, 40 years ago. So salaries and wages are not keeping up. This is a really interesting slide. I really like this slide, that most people are on that other side of the cliff, on the left-hand side of the picture. Help, I want to get out. I want to be over on the right-hand side where I can be self-sufficient. I want to be on the other side where I can be managing my own life and taking care of my own career and get away from the awful bosses, so on and so forth. And so what we're going to be talking about is that helicopter that has the potential to take you from being stranded over to the side where you're going to be self-sufficient. Talking about battered career syndrome, the three things that I hear the most from my clients as I'm talking to them, I'm hearing, I am so sick of making lots of money for other people. I've had a client told me once, and I think it's brilliant. He says, I am so sick of flying in coach while my bosses are flying in personal jets. And I just think that's so evocative. I had another client say that I'm just so sick of working for idiots. And I've heard that, or some version of that, for a lot. Or I'm sick of the politics and the death by meetings. I completely understand. And that's how I define self-sufficiency and what it means to be self-sufficient. Questions so far? Okay. So 97% of people who have become self-employed who are self-sufficient would never go back to traditional employment. And that certainly is true for me. Now that I've gotten the taste of owning my own company, there's no way. My husband and my family and I joke that if I ever had a boss again, one of us would be dead within about 2 minutes, probably both of us. I'm not a good employee. I'm just not. And I can't do that anymore. Once you've gotten the taste, as Shelley was saying, she had her own great resignation and she left and she won't go back either. And I bet I'm going to speak for you, I bet the same thing is true for you because you're doing some wonderful work and some great partnership. And so it's, I certainly can identify with that myself. We find that 65% of the people want the freedom to choose when and where to work, want to manage their own careers. They want to, and not simply to report to other people. I couldn't report to other people. Some people love it. There are people who love having a boss, and that's great. I'm not one of them. So we're going to be talking, there are, well, none of these things, the freedom to choose when to work, where to work, managing your own career is very difficult to do when you have a company and when you work for a company rather, and you have a boss. It's just very, very difficult to do. And so we're going to be talking about ways that you could own your own company if you wanted to, and we'll talk about specifics around that. So let's talk about how do you unlock your potential? And we talk about why. So one of the things that I'll talk a little bit more about me in a second, but what I am is I am a career ownership coach, and I help people who are facing battered career syndrome to see what else is out there, to explore business ownership in a safe environment. There's no cost to working with me. There never will be. I have a portfolio of a couple hundred franchises and small businesses, and I help my clients simply explore those as options. So one of the first things that we do is, what's your why? What's that fire in the belly? What's prompting you to join this presentation? What's prompting you to discover what options are available? What do you want different in your life? What is that pain that's causing you to look? What do you hope that business ownership and franchise ownership specifically might help you achieve? What is it going to give you? Is it going to give you that freedom of time? Is it going to give you that money? Is that give you that flexibility that so many people are looking for? And then what are your transferable skills? And that's really what my coaching is all about, is those three things. And then after we've got a sense to get to know you, then I can go and choose some franchises. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I ask you, if you're on this presentation, what is your why? What do you want to be different? I'm such a huge believer in the law of attraction, or just focusing on what you want, and it does bring it to you. Focus on what's important to you. What do you want your life to be like? And get as clear as possible with that, because that makes every other choice that you make so much easier. So what's going on? I love this quote. Once you've learned something, you can't go back. Once your mind has been enlightened, it can't become dark again. And I think that's wonderful.
Anna, this is so true. I started 2 businesses, actually 3 in the past 2 years, and I've had a lot of opportunities to go back to corporate, and I'm listening to my heart instead of my head. And if anybody else is feeling like that, that's why I'm so thrilled that you're here, because when you are enlightened and you can move into this type of future, I just put out there on the chat, like, Anna is the business franchise guru. I kind of do both. And so it is that mindset. So I love this quote. Thank you for putting that there.
Isn't that a great quote? I just love this quote too. I was just thrilled when I found it. So if you are here, you have a bunch of options. If you are in career transition, you have a bunch of options. You could go to school. And don't get me wrong, I love school. I have a master's degree. I come from a family of PhDs and master's people. They're great. School's terrific, but it's very expensive, very, very time consuming, and very little opportunity to get a return on your investment. It's just the fact of life. You can stay in corporate America job market, and that's great. And a lot of people will stay in corporate America, and that's terrific as long as you're doing that conscientiously and knowing what you're doing and what you're getting from it and what you're getting away and when you're not getting from it. You could start your own business. You can acquire an existing business. The statistics that I've heard are that, I'm sorry, because I'm working from home, I've got a cat who's decided who's going to join my lap. So it's a good thing we're very casual here today. Thanks, Shelley. You could start your own business, and that's great, very risky. Or you can consider franchising simply as an option. So the statistics that I've heard are for corporate America that 50% of people over the age of 50 will lose their job, and it will be twice as long, if not 3 times as long, to find their next job again. Ageism is alive and well. I wish it weren't so, but it's alive and well. Also, if you are finding a job, those people who are finding a job are finding that it's often less well paid, and it doesn't last as long. The jobs just don't last as long. You can start your own business, and I live here in this. I'm from Boulder originally, and I go out there fairly regularly, but I'm in California now. I'm in the heart of Silicon Valley, and I love it here. But everybody wants to be the next Facebook. Everybody wants to be the next Google. They don't realize how astronomically slim the chances of becoming that successful are. And in fact, the statistics that I've heard, now don't quote me on this, but the statistics I've heard is that 50% of new businesses are out of business in 1 year, and 90% are out of business in 10 years. So only 1 business in 10 makes it to its 10th anniversary. You can acquire an existing business, and there's pros and cons to that too, or you can consider franchising. So I am the franchising guru. I love franchising. I have drunk the Kool-Aid. I think it's an incredible option. It's not right for everybody, but I think it can work for a lot of people because franchising, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So one of the things that's nice about franchising is that there's unlimited growth. And you own your own business. So you get to chart its course, but you're not by yourself, which is huge. So I bought a franchise. The Entrepreneur Source itself is a franchise. So when I joined this organization, when I bought my franchise 5 years ago now almost, it's hard to believe it's been that fast. When I bought it, I got tremendous starting up experience. They gave me training and coaching. They gave me all of the materials that I needed to get started. And they didn't stop there. I've still got, in fact, a little secret, a lot of these slides that you see, they created for me, so I didn't have to do for myself. You'll see I post prolifically on LinkedIn, and I'll make sure that my LinkedIn profile is on there, is in the chat a little bit later on. Little dirty secret, I have very little to do with what's written on the LinkedIn. They post it for me. They write the articles and they post it for me, which is terrific because they are doing everything in their power to make me personally and my colleagues more successful, which is an incredible concept if you think about it, because it means that they want me to be as successful as I can. So they're going to do my legal, my accounting, my financial, my strategic planning, my training, marketing, all of that stuff is done for me. And it really makes for a very powerful situation where they help me with so much. So why franchising? Well, one of the nice things about franchising is that it's a proven business market, a proven business model. When people find out I'm in franchising, they say, oh, I've got a great idea for a franchise. Terrific, I say. How long have you been in business? Oh, I haven't started yet. Okay, well, you can't be a franchise. Or I've just started. Well, do you have 2 or 3 years of proven profitability? Well, no, I haven't really proven to turn a profit yet. So with a franchise, to become a franchise, you have to have years of proven business profitability. I liken franchising to one of those meal prep kits. I don't know if any of you are familiar with those, the HelloFresh, the Blue Apron, things like that. And those are great because they'll give you all of the ingredients. They'll give you everything's pre-proportioned. They'll give you very clear step-by-step instructions, but you still have tremendous freedom and flexibility. In my family, we have some picky eaters. And so I know that I can't include certain spices, or they want food cooked a certain way. So given the recipe, I'm given the ingredients, I'm given the instructions, I'm given everything, but I still have to put it together. And that's what a franchise is. So with that, I get tremendous flexibility. A lot of people think that franchising can only be one thing, you have to follow their rules specifically, and that's actually not true. There are different levels of franchising, and I won't go into too much detail about this because it's not that relevant, but just to let you know that there are different levels that you can do. It's not just donuts. Yes, in franchising in general, restaurants and food make up a majority of the franchises. However, in our portfolio, and yes, it's an eye chart, and I recognize it's an eye chart, and I apologize, but it's designed to give you a representation. This is of the couple thousand franchises in our portfolio. So we have a huge variety. Only 4% have anything to do with food, only 4%. So the rest are in things like kids, seniors, travel, business services, home improvement, home restoration, huge, huge, huge variety. Again, there's the concept you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And so that's really, really crucial. That franchising, you own your own business, you run it how you want to, but you're not by yourself. You're not there having to do everything. Let's see, chat. I love my why is time and financial freedom for myself. That's what I'm working towards. Absolutely. Oh, thanks, Yvette, for putting my LinkedIn profile there. Great. So you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So then what do I do? And why am I so thrilled to be a partner with Shelley and the organization that she's creating? I offer a service that's complementary to what Shelley is doing. It's another avenue to explore. I offer an opportunity to see what's out there. If you have a chance, and thank you again, Yvette, for putting my LinkedIn profile, please go to my LinkedIn profile. And my phone is, and so my LinkedIn profile, take a look, if you would, at my recommendations that I have on my LinkedIn profile. And I am particularly proud of those because half of those people will never consider buying a franchise with me. It's not something that's right for them, but they still took some time. So what I do is I provide a no pressure place to explore. We call it the safe zone. Normally, if you see my presentations, I'm in my office and I have a sign that says, welcome to the safe zone. Because I'm working from home today, I don't have that. But I feel that very, very proudly. I provide a place to explore your options. At all times, I'm on your side of the table. The only thing I care about is that you've learned something. Yes, in theory or technically, I don't get paid unless you end up in a franchise. But that's not my driving force at all. I got plenty of people for whom it's the right fit. So my driving force is an educator. I'm 5th generation educator. So it's deep in my blood to help people learn and explore and to find out things that they never knew. So at all times, the only thing I care about is you. And so let me ask you then, how would you complete this sentence? This is what other clients have said about us. I haven't had a chance to update this with what people have said about me, but you can read that specifically on my LinkedIn profile. But the thing to keep in mind is that I am just a resource to learn about other avenues. I've been where you are. I hate battered career syndrome. I can't deal with it anymore myself. I've been in your shoes. I know what you're going through. And if you want to see what else is out there, I'd love to chat with you. A couple of quick things. In addition, I forgot to mention that people think franchising and they think food, they think fast food specifically. And as I mentioned, only 4% of the franchises have anything to do with food. And people also think it costs millions of dollars to get into a franchise. In reality, the franchises in our system are anywhere between $75,000 to $150,000, $200,000 total first-year investment. So certainly not nothing, but funding is very readily available. In fact, I can get most people funding. So, any other questions? Did I cover anything that came out that that you wanted to, that I didn't cover, that I didn't talk about? So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Shelley. You have my LinkedIn profile. Please join me if you're interested in having a conversation. Again, no cost, no obligation whatsoever. I can direct you towards my online calendar, my online website, whatever is best. So what were some of the key takeaways that you got from this presentation? Anything that stuck out for you?
Ada looks like she has a question.
Ada.
Ada, you
yes, my question is, and I understand it depends in a way, but do you have any idea in terms of if one was to consider a franchise, besides that you did give some figures what it might cost, what are we looking into in terms of putting in our time, in terms of, is it doing it ourselves when we need additional assistance or help, to get things going, just, things like that.
Great question. Great question. We have full-time and part-time franchises available. So we have some that can be done full-time, however you define full-time, right? Because full-time, if you're working 80 hours a week on a franchise, you're working too hard, because you're working hard and not smart. And a franchise allows you to work smarter because they've done all the legwork, they've done all the hard work. All you have to do is implement the recipe. We also have franchises that can be done either fully absentee, meaning that you're just the investor and you put people in place, or you can do it on a part-time basis, as few as 3 or 4 hours a month. That's very unusual, but typically about 5 to 6 hours a week, sometimes less, sometimes more. So there's a huge variety, and it really depends on what's important to you. And that's one of the things that I do, is to help my clients figure out what's important to you. Does that answer your question, Nita?
Yeah, so it answers my question and we get more questions.
Okay, great.
So okay, so for example, the part-time and, the part-time and the one that, after I'm sure put the upfront time to get things going, that doesn't require, I guess, laundromats, things like that. They don't require you to be there, all the time. Not necessarily a laundromat, but so my question is, for something like that, I mean, is there okay, so with their proven record, do they pretty much say that if you do these things, you can at least, I mean, of course, not your upswing, but you can at least should be able to make this amount of income, you know, to like replace whatever, like a salary or something, or so then you can do whatever else, whether it's more businesses or other pursuits, things like that.
Great question. And so I have to be very careful. Franchising as an industry is extremely regulated, which is to your benefit. It means that anything that anybody tells you, you can take to the bank. So one of the things I'm not allowed to do is give earnings claims. So I can't say you are going to definitely earn X, Y, or Z. I can tell you that I have lots of clients who are, excuse me again, I have lots of clients who are making six figures, sometimes even $500,000, $250,000, that are looking and have a clear path to replacing that within a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, depends on a lot of different things. I'm by no means guaranteeing or even suggesting that it's going to happen to everybody. But there are lots of ways to replace that income. Part of the due diligence, if we work together, is that you will find out what other people have achieved. So you will absolutely get that number. I don't allow my clients to sign on the bottom line with a franchise unless they've got a strong pro forma profit and loss statement, so that they have a sense of how long is it going to take to get to profitability. When are they going to be cash flow positive? When are they going to get the return on their investment? And you'll get that. I promise you'll get that. You're not going to get it from me. You're not going to get it from the franchisor, but you will be getting that. So I promise that there are options for that. But yes, most people in franchising are mid to late career professionals, and they've achieved a certain level of success, typically director level and above. And you don't get to be the director level or above by making $50,000 a year. It's typically not what you see. And so franchising really offers that opportunity to not only replace their salary, but they were making the significant six-figure salary, but has the opportunity to get you beyond that. And that's one of the best things about franchising and business ownership in general, is that you get to determine how much you want to make. As you know, in corporate world, not only is your very job dependent on somebody else, but your raises, your promotions, your bonuses, always dependent on somebody else. And I've seen it again and again where people come to me and say, I was promised this great sign-on bonus, or I was promised this great commission structure, or I was promised this great promotion and raises, never to have it come again. With that, when you own your own company, you don't have that issue. You get to own your own business, and you get to decide what you're going to be making. And you have direct impact into how successful you are. Plus, you've got the added benefit of having the team of the franchisor behind you to make you and do everything they can to make you as successful as possible.
How long does the team work with you once you've made that investment?
As long as you're with the team. So typically a franchise license lasts about 10 years. It can be less, but typically it's 10 years. And they are with you and then you re-up typically after those 10 years, and they are with you every step of the way. So they never leave you alone unless you ask them to. And if you're asking them to leave you alone, then there's something that's not right, because that's what you're buying a franchise for, is you're giving them, joining that partnership, and you want to have that synergistic relationship.
Can you just repeat what you said the average range is to purchase again?
About $75,000 to $150,000 to $200,000, and that's
Okay.
the total first-year investment. And funding is very readily available.
Oh, funding is available to help you to be able to make that purchase.
Yep, 100%. Yep.
And another question I have about that amount is let's say, okay, per se, the business that it was considering is like a 90,000, just given a range off the top of my head, versus like a $200,000 business. Is the initial investment or cost in the business, is that at all representative of your likely profit in the business, based on how much it initially cost you, or the factors for the difference in the range?
Not yes and no. There's no direct correlation. Okay, you spend, $10,000, you're going to make 50,000, and you spend $100,000, you're going to make, 5 million. There's no correlation, direct correlation like that. Typically the higher level investments have other costs that are associated, that other things that you're having to do. So you might have to buy equipment, might have increased marketing. There's other costs. The training might be more expensive, whatever, but there's no direct correlation, but that's something certainly we can talk about.
Thank you.
Sounds like you might want to have a call with Anna, and that's awesome. The reason that I was so excited to have Anna be part of Colorado Career Connectors is, one, I met her in Arizona where there's a similar group. And also, I want to be able to provide all of the options for those people who don't want to go back to corporate. And Anna was just the perfect fit for us to work together. And the topic of wanting to work for yourself and what she talked about earlier with ageism is all these things are very, very real. I have several stories of where my clients have even started their own companies or gone into franchising. And within 3 years, my clients who went into franchising have paid their investment back and are now making what they made in the corporate environment, but have a bit more freedom. So a lot of it depends on your own will, your initiative, your investment, what you're passionate about. But isn't that going back to what Anna talked about before, is about mindset? And so this is only one option. If you are interested in going back to corporate, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. The word battered can mean betrayal, disconnection, burnout, overwhelm, and stress. And I also help my clients to get mentally fit from that. And Yvette, if you could put the information in there for the positive intelligence class that I'm offering, that would be awesome. So July 11th, if your inner critic is telling you, I'm not going to make enough money, I'm too old, I'm not worthy enough, nobody wants to hear me, all these things that fear and stress and burnout and disconnection and disengagement bring. And there's a couple of people on the call right now that have gone through this. No matter whether you work with Anna or you're interested in figuring out what you want to do next, you have to have the right mental fitness. And so if you're interested in that, please let me know. Now, I do want to let you know that Colorado Career Connectors is not here to sell you on anything. We're very community focused. And I chose to partner with Anna because she does bring a no pressure, safe environment and has been doing this for over 20 years, as well as I have. So we're just here to be resources for you so that we can help you be your best. And I'm seeing some comments in the chat. Oh, thank you, Yvette, for putting that info out there. So, let us know. Colorado Career Connectors has, again, 24 events per year. We've got resume writing coming up. We've got Behind the Recruitment Curtain coming up on July 14th with the Vice President of HR from Tilde and another career coach who's a good friend of mine. So please make sure that you keep in touch with us during the summer. And during the summer, sometimes our participation goes down, but we want you to participate. That's super important. Anna, any other thoughts from you on other topics?
No, I just wanted to Shelley is doing a great job with this upcoming, was it June 20th on the Pride and how to be an ally. And I just really want to compliment Shelley. This is not something she's just doing this month. As long as I've known Shelley, she's been talking about being an ally and celebrating what makes us unique and diverse. And so I really want to put that out there because you see, oh yes, okay, the month of June, everybody is Pride. Great, terrific.
Rainbow Watch.
Rainbow Watch, but Shelley's been doing this as long as I've known her. And so this is not a one-time only thing. So I plan on not a member of the community, but I want to be an ally. So I'm going to do what I can to attend that presentation. So I just wanted to put that little